Hello, YouTubers. Steve here with input on back and forth motion or single stroke motion for sharpening. So with my many years of sharpening with various devices in the field and on the bench, I would like to share that I think it's perfectly okay when you're reprofiling an edge to use a back and forth stroke or even circular strokes to keep the edge even. This particular knife, it came to me with looked like they've been chopping nails with it. Big dents in the blade, so I have a lot of material to remove. It's a Hinkle made for KitchenAid, so it's Hinkle's mid-grade. Seems to be pretty good steel, and they recommend a 15-degree bevel for this, 20-degree bevel for the regular knives, which is steeper than a lot of culinary companies would recommend, but I find that their advice works really great with their steel and their knives. So we're all set up here with the angle cube at 15 degrees, and we'll check between stones, but I just want to demonstrate very quickly. So back and forth, you mean like we're allowing the pressure of the stone to ride on the cutting surface for both directions. I prefer when I'm taking material off, kind of a circular motion, being careful to come on the knife from the tip, not off where you're going to round it off. So, and to help myself remember that, I might even put my finger on the side that I want it to remain, so it doesn't tip this way. It's always tipping on to the solid surface of the knife. So I'll put it right up here. My Hapstone R2 is a little bit different holder. It's got a really nice screw right up here that you can use as a lever. But when I get down this side, I'll move my finger over on the other side. I'm still taking circular motions. It's much more effective if you use the entire length of your sharpening them. To that end, I have spring-loaded Hapstone bumper stops, and it controls the length of the stroke I can take, so I'm not polishing the aluminum parts on the device repeatedly with a knife edge. So that it's kind of therapeutic, actually. So I'll do this in both directions, like this, back and forth, and it's just like when you're picking players for your volleyball team. You get more done in the middle, so you have to stop for a second on the end and then turn around and come back. So like a so, and periodically reaching underneath with the edge of my finger and feeling for the burr. The burr is just getting started. Now, this would be my second burr. The first burr was on the other side, well, actually on this side, and it got polished off, of course, immediately. Sometimes I hold it like this. I even hold it on the knob. But on the knob, you tend to push down, and you don't want a heavy weight. You'll deflect the blade, no matter how sturdily clamped it is, or how sturdy your sharpening system is. You want just a little bit more than the weight of the stone in the carrier. And you can, the way I've got my light set up here, I can see right down the blade. I can see where I've made mistakes. I can see where there are portions that are not, I haven't been as aggressive and I need to spend more time on them. And I then periodically take my rag and I just flick the swarf in both directions out of this diamonds, and you can see how these diamonds are wearing fantastic. And I use these open diamonds for pre-profiling, and then I'll switch to a matrix diamond, a more expensive stone, when I work on the finishes that I'll see 400 grit and above. So let me take a second here and feel for a burr. Oh, I got a nice little burr here, all the way down to there, but not so much on this end down here. So we'll spend a little extra time on it. and I can see that the big dings in the blade are not gone. So I'll be flipping this over several more times. So if I can reach over, grab a piece of paper, I'll show you something. So I wrap my blades in paper when I return them to customers. So you can probably see, even at this thing, there's one here, there's another one there, there's one right there, and there's one right there, and they are big nicks. And I know why this happens. The lady that owns these knives paid a lot of money for them and throws them in a drawer. So I told her if I was going to sharpen her knife, she has to buy a knife block, and she looked at me kind of funny, and I said, well, since we sharpen them up like razor blades, I says, when you're going to clang them together, we should would. And so she says, okay, I'll get a block. So she's going to find a block she likes. See her most used. She has a bunch of knives that have scabbards for them. They came that way from the store, and she's kept it in there. Those knives are pretty good shape. But even one of those gets thrown back in when you're in a hurry. If you don't have a block, ends up in the. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a full burr about this pass. And this tip just looks awful down here. Okay, we got enough of our burr to flip it. Here we go. And the one thing about this Hapstone R1, it is just solid, and it's only a half a degree or less difference on from one flip to the other, and that's always something I've been quite concerned about. Also, these are a really high-end clamp. It's the only clamps that come with the R1. They're held on very tightly and very securely back here. You tighten them down to they just touch the blade, or maybe an eighth or a quarter of a turn back from touching the blade here, and then tighten this. I always tighten the middle, and then the two outsides, and then back to the middle again. So let's take a shot, bring this side back to life, and I had the presence of mind to video this before I got the new edge cut in here, because it was really, really ugly. I showed it to my wife, and she normally just didn't sharpen up. And she looked at it and she said, how can you cut anything with that? I said, honey, I think they're making their own serrated knife for bread. So anyway, I did not sharpen it as the way it played. All right. Well, you guys, folks, have a nice Saturday. That's all for this time. Trying to give you my ideas and tips on how you can use a circular motion for profiling, or just a straight back and forth for profiling, like so, and then go back to the single stroke like this when the profiling is done and you're actually putting an edge on. I even, at those low grits, small, big grits, low number of grits, use this before I go to the next grit. And I'll look down the edge and make sure that that shiny edge is the same width from end to end. Thanks again. Have a good day. Oh, if you like this, please click like. And if you'd like to see some of I'm getting more active now and posting a wide variety of topics, including electric trains, toy trains. We have sharpening and general workshop things. I have about 60 years of experience in the workshop. And people say, well, how old are you? Well, let's just say that I remember Truman as president. All right, folks, I hope this has been useful to you, and you stay well.